Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we're going to head back out to the state of New Jersey. We're not going to talk about the assault weapon ban or all the other stuff. We're going to talk about something new going on out there because the Attorney General out there needs to get some headlines. And so what has he decided to do? That's right. He's decided to file a lawsuit against a major firearms manufacturer. We've talked about this firearms manufacturer before. We've talked about this firearm before. It's the Sig P320. Attorney General Matthew Platkin has filed a 9-count complaint against Sig Sauer. Let's go through it today so you can understand what's going on. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about New Jersey sues Sig Sauer. Okay, America, we're going to be talking to you about a freshly filed lawsuit out there in the state of New Jersey. Compliments to the folks over at News 2A. They were kind enough to send me an advance copy of the complaint. I got it, had a chance to go through it. We're going to go through it with you today. And if you're not checking out News 2A, you should. We're going to link them up down in the description box below. Now, the complaint starts by articulating 4 separate incidents of unintentional discharge resulting in injury and or death to law enforcement officers. In general, the complaint alleges that Sig Sauer created a defective design, was improper in their marketing, they knew there was a problem with this firearm, and after knowing it, they didn't do anything about it and denied it. And that's kind of a short summary of what's going on. To get into the specifics, the state of New Jersey claims the following against Sig. Since its introduction in 2014, Sig Sauer has highlighted the P320's partially pre-tensioned striker and its short, crisp trigger pull. Sig Sauer has bragged that the P320 offered premium safety and performance without needing external safeties. The P320 has no external safety to snag or hang up on the draw. Rather, Sig Sauer claimed the P320 provided an enhanced level of safety through its internal restraints. Sig Sauer's statements thus assured users that the P320 was less likely to unintentionally fire than other semi-automatic handguns with external safeties. And the state of New Jersey claims further, but for years, Sig Sauer has known that the P320's internal safeties do not prevent the guns from firing when the user does not want them to fire. During a procurement evaluation in 2016 and 2017, the U.S. Army found that without an external safety that would prevent any accidental trigger movement, the Sig Sauer P320 posed an unacceptable danger of firing when the user did not want it to fire. Now, there are several themes littered throughout this complaint, one of which is that as this problem became more and more prevalent and well known, Sig Sauer did nothing but deny it. The complaint alleges, for years after safety concerns emerged, Sig Sauer repeatedly proclaimed safety without compromise, and from the trigger to the striker and even the magazine, the P320 won't fire unless you want it to. Added into the complaint, of course, is further allegations that Sig continued to market this firearm as being immensely safe, and that, of course, leads to one of the counts of this complaint. The complaint alleges Sig Sauer even advertised its omission of an external safety as demonstrating the superiority and enhanced level of safety of its handguns. Sig Sauer told the world that the P320's internal restraints rendered unnecessary the external safeties used in other leading striker-fired pistols to prevent unintended firing. Now, some of you may recall an earlier controversy with the P320, which was the drop test issues. And Sig Sauer did step in and apparently remedy those problems. But as the complaint alleges, that doesn't solve the problem which brings this lawsuit, as they put it. At the end of 2017, following a deluge of criticism connected mostly to the P320's tendency to fire if dropped, Sig Sauer announced design changes to the P320. However, the upgraded and newly designed P320s still fire when the user does not want them to. That is because the upgrade purported to address the only problem Sig Sauer acknowledged: guns fired when dropped. Now, one of the other complaints, and this was a complaint that we kind of lodged here at Washington Gun Law as well, is that there was obviously something up with this firearm. Whether it was user error or the firearm itself, we're not going to get into that because that issue has not been resolved. But it was Sig's blatant denial, basically pointing the finger at the users, that we felt was really an improper message. And I even mentioned on this video right here, hey, that could lead to further legal action. Now it pops up in the complaint this way. Despite the growing evidence that the P320s continue to fire unintendedly, Sig Sauer maintains that the changes it made starting in 2017 have fixed any problem for which Sig Sauer is responsible. Any unintended discharges, Sig Sauer insists, must be caused by user error. The company continues to sell its P320 to law enforcement and civilian customers without any further design changes or any further warnings. So what exactly is the state of New Jersey alleging is wrong with the design of this firearm? It's this. Sig Sauer sells and markets a fully pre-cocked, spring-loaded striker-fired design. The Sig Sauer P320 depends on weak internal safeties. Alleging this further, the complaint also claims the P320 is designed so that whenever the gun is loaded with a chambered round, the spring is fully compressed and the striker is in position to release. That is, a loaded Sig Sauer P320 with a chambered round is always fully cocked and ready to fire. The striker is held back under tension by an approximately 1 millimeter ledge on the component called the sear, which is probably not too dissimilar to other semi-automatic striker-fired handgun designs, but hey, why let that get in the way of a complaint? Now, again, the state of New Jersey goes heavy after SIG's marketing and their outright denial of any issues with this firearm. They allege in the complaint the following. From the start, Sig Sauer advertised the P320 as most operator safety focused. Another allegation. Sig, you were on notice about this for years, and you chose to do absolutely nothing about it except deny it. Again, these are the allegations in the complaint. Specifically, they state, by 2017, Sig Sauer was on notice that a loaded P320 can and does fire without intentional trigger pulls. And why was Sig already on notice? Well, again, according to the allegations in the complaint, the following occurred. For example, at Sig Sauer's own training academy in New Hampshire, 2 accidental discharges caused injuries in both 2016 and 2017. Now, you may recall that there was a voluntary recall and upgrade that Sig offered on the P320, but that was only to remedy the drop test safety issues, okay? And as the complaint alleges here, Sig Sauer's voluntary upgrade failed to remedy the harm to law enforcement and the public. The complaint then goes through 17 other allegations outside the state of New Jersey in which allegedly unintentional discharges resulted in injury or death. What was SIG's response to this? According to the state of New Jersey, they ran to the state of New Hampshire and got immunity, product liability immunity, so that they could not be sued on this further. Is that true? Well, we're going to find that out. But the complaint alleges the following. On notice of mounting liability, Sig Sauer obtained special legislative immunity in its home state. In May 2025, New Hampshire enacted House Bill 551, a law that news outlets dubbed the Sig Sauer Immunity Law, which bars product liability lawsuits in that state against firearm industry participants based on the presence or absence of an external safety. Listen, on this video right here, we were like, hey, Sig, the statement that you posted online is not doing you or your customers any favors. Well, it didn't do them any favors here in this lawsuit either, because the state of New Jersey bangs on the drum this way. Sig Sauer's post-upgrade marketing still denies the problem, blames the victims, and continues to mislead and deceive the public about the P320's safety from unintended discharge. And the complaint further alleges Sig Sauer shifts blame to victims and misleads consumers about the ongoing litigation related to unintended discharges. Okay, the complaint has 9 separate counts to it. We're not going to go through each and every one of them because it's going to bore you to death. But in general, the allegations and the actual counts on the complaint allege product liability, false advertising, consumer fraud, and public nuisance. The case was just filed a couple of days ago, giving Attorney General Matthew Platkin an opportunity for a press conference so he didn't have to talk about the thumping that he took in the Third Circuit. We will carefully watch this suit. This is not the first suit against Sig, and this seems to be a growing trend amongst very blue jurisdictions where, we can't take these guns from people, so what we're going to do is we're going to sue the manufacturers. We're seeing lawsuits against Glock because of people doing illegal activity with it, and now we're seeing this lawsuit against Sig by the state of New Jersey. Now, I know that some of you are big Sig fanboys and you think every allegation against Sig is complete and total garbage. I know others out there in this community who have been trying to tear Sig down since the minute these allegations came out. Here's where we are at Washington Gun Law. We don't know what the problem with this firearm is. Is the problem potentially caused by a faulty design? Yeah, that's a potential. That absolutely is. Could the problems be caused by user error? Having been a defense attorney and talked to people who sometimes mishandle firearms, yeah, user error is unfortunately more prevalent than you may realize. But ultimately, when that pesky little thing called the Constitution keeps getting in the way of all these civilian disarmament regimes, one of the ways that they're going to try to work around it is just to sue all of these manufacturers into oblivion, or at least to a point where they no longer want to do business in that state. Okay, the case is called Plotkin v. Sig Sauer, Inc. It is filed in the Superior Court of New Jersey, Chancery Division, Essex County. We're going to link up the complaint down below so you don't have to take our word for it. Thanks again to the folks over at News 2A for sending it to us. We'll keep our eye on this case. Okay, now listen, if you guys got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you should know how to get a hold of Washington Gun Law by now, but if you don't, that's okay. That information is down there in the description box. If you got an idea for a video we should be doing, click on that link right there and tell us all about it. If you want to subscribe to the monthly newsletter, the ability to do that is down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.